Disneyland is back open in California, and it turns out they recently revamped their classic Snow White ride. But not everyone is happy about it. Now the ride ends with the True Love's kiss scene, which some argue is very troublesome, mainly because Snow White is unconscious and cannot give consent
I'm not laughing,
for the prince to kiss her. Of course, it is the prince's kiss which does indeed break the curse and save Snow White's life. But the two had not previously met. Have you guys ever really thought about that? So do you think this scene is troublesome now that you're thinking it through? And should it be included in this story, even if it gives kids mixed messages about consent? One other little caveat for you, Erica Cobb. Snow White is believed to be 14 and Prince Florian 27 to 31.
Weird.
Yeah. So that's a lot of information that I never knew. Listen, I don't want to gloss over what an important element of this conversation is, and that's the idea that by actually making this a topic, we are having the conversation about consent. And that may not have been the objective, but we're here now, and I think that there's no time that's too young to really address the concerns of consent.
What do they want people to do, though? Like, the alternative is that she just dies from biting an apple. You tell kids apples kill you. Like, what is, I don't know what the alternative is. And I think there's a bigger issue with fairy tales that I think has gotten corrected with, like, Frozen and newer Coco, some other films, because we always had this man saving this damsel in distress young girl and telling young girls that you need to be saved by some random man. So I think there's a lot of issues, but, you know, they're cartoons. You got to take them with a grain of salt.
I agree, but I think, Tori, you know, as a mom, I've already had conversations with Sophie, who's 3.5, almost 4 years old, about consent, because certain relatives will run up and hug her and kiss her, and I can tell it makes her uncomfortable. So I pull her aside and I say it is A-okay for you to say, I don't want to hug right now. And I think that's okay. And I want her to not, because I grew up always wanting to please people. That means if somebody wanted to hug me, I would hug them, even if that made me cringe inside. And that can translate to certain young women who may be insecure or have that mentality that who knows what that will turn into later on when they become intimate. So I think it's an important conversation. I'm not saying that we have to rewrite everything, but I hope that parents have the conversation with their children.
Yeah, I think this is a little too woke if we go into changing the Disney ride, right? I think that's a little too PC. Great conversation to have, but just know that the Brothers Grimm, who created these way back in the day, the Ariels, the Lion Kings, all of these, they're dark. They're really dark. There's death, and that's somewhat important to kids to realize there's not all jolly good. So at some point, I like fairy tales for what they teach kids, but I like that Disney's moved it to like Tangled, where she saves herself and stuff like that.
Yeah, they have progressed, and I'm here for that.